Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy. Welcome to the Lifeboat. Hope you're having a hell of a weekend. I'm having a pretty good one. My son is in town. So my son is not in town. My son has moved to town. It's a very big deal for me. You know, after the amount of time that I spent away from my loved ones, all my doing. You know, it's so fantastic to have to have my boy back, under good circumstances, everybody getting along, and it's just I don't know, it's beautiful. So the as I've mentioned on the last couple of videos, Tone Ranger, good to see you, man. As I've mentioned on the last couple of videos, and been a lot of people that have had a lot of fun with the relapse thing. We're going to put this to bed today because I'm done talking about it. So let's get this wrapped up. A comment was left from someone that said, something to the effect of, great role model, right? Sorry. Sorry. Anyway, there's a gentleman that seemed to have a problem, that as a role model, for me to come out and be honest and say that I had used, and then tell people as a role model, I was giving people permission to go out and use, right? To just go out and get drunk for one night, or snort some coke for a night, or do whatever you want to do. It's an unusual, kind of an unusual way to look at it. However, yeah, here's the deal. I had a couple options, right? One of them was to lie to you, right? One of them was to lie to you, right? I don't intend to lie to anybody. I'm done lying. Lying gets me into more trouble. Number two, if I'm your role model, you really need to reevaluate your life, right? I love you. I'm glad that you're here. I hope that the screw ups that I've made in my life, and talking about them, somehow can keep people from making some of the same mistakes and bring up some conversations that may enrich people's lives. But if you want to pick me as a role model, I robbed the banks, people. Right? I ran guns. I did a lot of really effed up things in my life, right? And I did not come out here. I swear to God, I did not come out here to be anybody's role model, right? I didn't. It's not why I'm here, man. I didn't come out here to be a role model. So if you're bummed out that as a role model I let you down, you can kiss me on my backside, right? I started this so that people had a place that they could come where nobody would judge them if they did exactly what I did. And you know what? 99.99999% of you didn't judge me. So that's all I'm going to say. The rest of this is going to be nothing but fun. The rest of this is going to be nothing but good news and craps and giggles, because I got a lot of good stuff to talk about, people. What do you think of that? I got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So for a very long time, I've been putting off the concept of writing a book about my life because I don't feel myself a writer. I struggle, right? I struggle with writing. It makes me feel a little bit less than intelligent. And fortunately, I got somebody that now would like to put me in contact with somebody that is a professional who deals in this type of thing. Not a ghostwriter per se, but somebody that arranges ghostwriters. But I am going to be talking to a professional, right? I'm going to be talking to someone that would very much like to buy my story. this would be a decent sized paycheck, right? Without being gauche or getting into it, it would be certainly enough money to put a hell of a lot of people into medical assisted treatment. You hear me? A hell of a lot of people could get put into medical assisted treatment. So I'm pretty damn excited about that as a concept. And I'm going to be leaving town. I'm going to be leaving town sometime next week, right? Did you ever claim to be a role model? I believe you offered a safe place for connection. There's always one rotten egg. Yeah, well, there's always a couple, but you're right. Never claimed to be a role model. And you did a really nice job, by the way, of describing what I've done. Man, I put together a really cool place for people to hang out. But I am going to be on the road, people. I'm going to be traveling, and that is a super exciting thing. I haven't done any kind of traveling like this in a while. You know what I mean? This is this is exciting. Normally travel for me has a job attached to it. Normally when I travel, I'm going to be speaking, or I'm going to be on stage, or there's going to be none of that. This is going to be an opportunity for me to just sit down and talk to a couple of people, sort of one-on-one kind of thing, and people that I'm actually really looking forward to meeting. I haven't had a ton of interaction with these people yet, but they seem like really incredible people. So I'm pretty fired up about it. I really am. I'm pretty fired up about it. Devin B says, my best role model was my mom. She wasn't perfect, and she's no longer here, but she's a fantastic role model. After 1 year, she relapsed and then was sober for almost 30 years. Man, that's awesome, isn't it? It really is. That's awesome. That's the kind of stuff that, you get up and you dust yourself off. Truthfully, it came down to the choice of lying or not lying. That's it, right? I could lie to you or I could not lie to you. And if I start lying to you people, it'll be just a matter of time before I start telling another lie, and then another lie, and then another lie. And as those start to get out of control, usually it means I'm on my way to to addiction and to get into a really bad place. I'll tell you something else. I said I was going to be really open, and I was going to go back through my journals and really try to figure out exactly what has helped me. Where did I leave the tracks? Right? Where did I go wrong? I think I started to, I probably started making mistakes months ago. Is the lifeboat going anywhere? Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. Good Lord, no. 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 And I want to tell you something, right? I screwed up. Right? I ate some Valium and I drank some beers. However, if that had been a 3-week bender, if I had disappeared for 3 weeks and was smoking crack the entire time, the lifeboat's not going anywhere. The lifeboat's not shutting down. The lifeboat is a hell of a lot bigger than me, right? At this moment, right now, I get the cool seat, right? You guys remember Johnny Carson? He used to have the really cool seat, right? There was somebody before him, right? He actually replaced somebody else. Someday there's going to be somebody else sitting in this seat. And by the way, you just haven't been here long enough probably to have seen other people that have been in the seat already. Mark Wages sat in this seat. Utah Heather sat in this seat. We had some really gifted people that have already done this, right? So no, hell no, it's not going to shut down. It was a bump in the road. I'm coming here today to talk about this because then we're going to shut the hell up about it, right? I'm sorry. It's my boat. We're going to shut the hell up about it. Because here's what happened. I had a friggin' relapse, all right? Now, if that's too much for you to handle, I understand. I understand. That's what society tells us, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you what. You know the really great thing, huh? And I didn't come up with this, by the way. One of you did. God bless you. But somebody sent me a messenger, a thing on Messenger that said, "You may not believe this, Captain, but I've watched every one of your videos." Which I thought was lovely. I appreciate that. If the number of people who said that really did, I'd be a billionaire. But this person said, "I've watched every one of your videos." He said, and a lot of people have come on to say that they have relapsed or that they got high or they stumbled or whatever. He said, and not once ever did you crap on one of them. Not once did you ever say to one of them, "How dare you?" Every single time you said, "So what? Get up, dust yourself off, and keep moving." He claims that he's heard that at least 100 times in the 1,500 videos. And you know what? He's got me, because there's no way I'm going to go back there and actually try to find out. So sounds good. But that's been the mantra. So this time it's me. Next time it might be you. I hope not. I hope not. I hope that it doesn't happen to any of us ever again, right? Hopefully it never happens to any of us again. That's not particularly likely. But I got news for you. If it happens again, I'm going to tell you about it. And if that causes people to maybe think, "Ooh, if Tommy can do it, I can do it," well, then that person has bigger problems than me. For real. If you watched me talk about that, if you watched me talk about just how great it was, how much fun I had, huh? I'm guessing you just read the headline, right? Didn't actually take the time to watch him, because I sure as hell wasn't talking about what a great time it was. You know, my problem is this: as I started going back through and unpeeling the onion, this role model thing really started to become an issue for me. It really did. You know, you can do certain things as a creator. I can go in the back and I can type in the comments section things like the word legend, and I can see how many times somebody has used the word legend in a comment, and it's disturbing, right? But I typed in role model. Boy, oh boy, you guys say it a lot. You know, a lot. And I started sitting there and thinking about it and really kind of being bummed out. Because, man, I didn't say I was anybody's role model, right? I didn't set out to be a role model. And I got no desire to be a role model, right? And then I did a lot of stuff that'll offend some of you. I started praying, okay? Started meditating, started talking to some people that I love, that I care deeply about. And I started talking to people, and I said, "Hey, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't ask to be a friggin' role model, right? I don't know anybody, nothing. I didn't ask to be a role model." And then my friend made a pretty interesting point. They said, "Who the hell asks to be a role model?" Right? Is there a job application that you fill out and you write down on the bottom, "Oh, sign me up for role model"? I definitely would like that. Hold on one second here. The Rexican Messler says, "Hey, Tommy, I built some bicycle wheels for a shop in Montpelier, Vermont yesterday. As a former Vermonter myself, you were in my thoughts at the time. All the best." Rexican Messler, the Montpelier, the capital of the state. It's a small little capital. Beautiful town, though. Beautiful town. I love reading the word Montpelier. Put a smile on my face. But I'm guessing nobody signs up to be a. Thank you, Buddhist beer. I'm guessing that nobody signs up to be a role model. I guess that nobody says, "You know what? I want people to look up to me, or I want people to think about this or think about that." I don't think that that's something that any of us get to choose. But if by some chance that happens, if by some chance you find yourself in that position, you can complain about it, or maybe you can just, "I'm sorry, I'm trying to get back to Zena, just know I can't find it. Zena, please know that thoughts and prayers. Sorry, I'm really struggling to find the. If I had told my doctors that I was an addict, right, they would not have written me a prescription for Valium. I didn't tell the doctor because I very much wanted it, and I thought that there was a chance that they were going to do that. Yeah, I was at that point already. I was already relapsed. I hadn't done any drugs, but I had been in relapse for so long. At that point, it was incredible. Your mom was rushed to the hospital last night. Thank you, Zena, for telling us, and we'd like to keep her in our thoughts and prayers. Also, a very close friend of the show was in an accident last night, hit by a drunk driver. The irony of that. But Russ, you see Russ and I do the convict, the two kind convicts. Russ was in a car wreck last night and was injured. He's pretty shook up. Took some damage to his ankle, and he took some damage to other parts of his leg. So thoughts and prayers, please, for Russ. I told him that we were going to be keeping him in our thoughts and prayers. I told him I was going to let everybody know, but he's in good spirits. I also spoke to Steve Molesky today, and you know what? Steve's a stud. He really is, man. He's as strong as anyone you'd ever meet, and he wanted you all to know that he was thinking of everybody on the boat and praying for you all. And he was working for it. I'm not going to lie to you. He was working for it. There's a lot going on. And I think just that conversation was taking, a decent amount out of him. So thoughts and prayers for both of those people. And Gypsy, 1 year, 365 days. Huh? How good is that? That's worth the price of admission, isn't it? That's worth the price of doing a show. It's worth going live today on a Saturday. I was going to take most of the day off because Spanky's first day. Here we're going to run around and do some stuff in town. But I definitely wanted to go live. I wanted to cover some of this. Really glad that I did. Just to be able to really tip my hat to Gypsy is huge. It means a lot to me. It really does. Fantastic, good stuff. Absolutely worth the price of admission. And I also I appreciate you guys. Russ is okay, and he is in good spirits, but he shook up. He got hit, and he took the brunt of the damage of everyone else in the car. So his leg is injured, and he got his bell rung. Pretty good, but Russ is a convict, and I say that as a compliment, not an insult. He's a convict, and he had a hell of an attitude through this whole thing. He really did. I said, "You doing all right, brother?" And he's a rub a little dirt on it, and I'll be all right kind of person. I'll give him a lot of credit. But Russ is one of us, and he'll be back soon. But he wants you all to know that he's thinking of you. Tommy, you're only human. Whomever without sin cast the first stone. Just keep on being you and keep your head up. Thank you very much, Jody. I appreciate that. I really do. The funny thing is, again, no one's really crapping on me. They're not. I've come to the realization that I probably do need to start maybe thinking about things a little bit differently, right? Maybe just some small stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if you're lucky enough to get an opportunity to make a living in your house, right? Let's be really honest, right? I get to work with people that I care about deeply, and I get to do it in my house. That's a pretty cool job right there. But it's got some drawbacks and some changes, right? Thank you, Lisa Trimble. You can be a role model and be human. You know what? That's the most intelligent thing that's been said about this, right? Truthfully, that is the most. I'm so happy because that's really what I've come to realize. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. But what I've come to realize is this. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. Right? I don't think there's any getting away from it. I'm going to talk about a lot about addiction, and because of the fact that I was in prison, and because of the fact that I've mounted a pretty good comeback. Right? I mean, the comeback king we all know is Corey Feldman, but I've still made a decent comeback. Yeah. So who is Deborah? I don't know. Never met her. Thank you very much, Mr. Manager. That is a very kind thing to say. I really appreciate that, man. Zed's dead, baby. You're funny as hell, Calvin. You are funny as hell. That is funny. It really is funny. It holds you accountable when you talk about it. You know what? I work the steps now. No, I will not. LBC. Thank you for asking. I will not work the steps. It's not how I got sober, and it requires me to do things that number one. I mean, I guess I could do them from my house. It's not usually the way it's done. Very often, you'd be going to meetings. I don't go to meetings like that. This is, what I do. I'm doing a lot of journaling, more so than I normally do. As I said to a friend earlier, my the people that handle my the psychological parts of my of my medicine are making considerably more money this week than normal. I'm talking to a lot of people. Sometimes it's sometimes it's just a rugged gig, and I love what I do. I do. I love what I do, and I'm getting better at it, and I'm learning as I go. There's a big adjustment, people. There's a very large adjustment to people treating you nicely. I'm sorry, but there really is. And I'm getting used to it. And I'm really getting better at taking compliments. I really am. But sometimes there are things that are just so heavy. There was a comment that somebody left today, and it was so beautiful. And he said, you know what? You're not going to remember me. And I remember him. I promise you. I remember what he does for a living. I can remember what his wife's name was. I remember this guy's entire story. But he said that he was able to save somebody's life with Narcan the other day. And he said, and I promise you that if I hadn't reached out to the Lifeboat and you hadn't contacted me and helped me get sober, that this boy would be dead. And that's about as beautiful a comment as you're ever going to read, But it floored me. You know what I mean? I couldn't get my crap together for about 10 minutes, man. I just could not stop crying. And it is what it is, right? This is we do some heavy stuff here, man. We really do some heavy stuff here. So sometimes people, sometimes I'm going to miss a show, right? Because today really it was because Spanky was here, but sometimes I'm going to miss some shows because it's hard. I really do try to get up and put a post there whenever I can. I have a little something for Squirrel. Should I wait to send it till you return? You know what? That might not be a bad idea. I don't know when my exact travel itinerary is. I want to say I leave on the 9th. I think I leave on the 9th. I might leave on the 7th. I'm very bad at this. Again, this is something that I pay people to do because I'm just so bad at it. The ripple effect. Do you realize the ripple effect that you have created? Me, Blessed to Crochet, and Others have started channels focusing on connection. It's a key factor in us getting through. You know what? I'm watching the ripple effects. I really am. I'm watching the ripple effects, and it's been.
I think it's the 8th. Everybody.
The 8th. Thank you. And that's what Spanky. See that? Always smarter than his dad, right? Tampa B says my stairmaster was a wonderful closet organizer. That's pretty funny. Question: I have a little something. Yes, I leave on the 8th apparently, and I think I should be getting back on like the 13th or 14th, something like that. And it's gonna be good. But yeah, it might be better to wait until I am back. I feel bad for Corey's band. I'm thinking that they had bigger aspirations than that. J9, I get that because his band is talented. Like, honestly, listen to the people in that band. They're excellent musicians. And man, to be that good a musician, and what are you doing? I'm touring with a band that's opening for Limp Bizkit. Oh, is that right? Really? Who? You're going. Run that by me again. I missed that. I said, this is Corey Feldman. Did you just say that you're playing with Corey Feldman? Ouch! I'm sorry, people. The sad thing is this, man. You know what? So this is what I do, right? Whether I'm great at it or whether I suck at it or whatever, this is what I do. I don't think I want to start setting up a hoop outside, see if I can drain 3-pointers all day. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not my thing. I think the guy was a pretty good actor. I think he maybe should have stuck with that. Connection ripples. Connection ripples are incredible. They are. They absolutely are. I want to tell you something. And it's going to sound like such mumbo jumbo. It really is. God forbid somebody stumbles across the Lifeboat and hears this is the first show they've ever heard. God forbid this is your first Lifeboat, because this is going to sound like such mumbo jumbo. But do you know what? There are people on this boat that I love, that I've never met, right? That I truthfully and honestly love, and that mean the world to me. It's funny. Somebody had written something to me, and I tend to not write as much as I leave voice messages, because once again, I have a problem with the writing aspects that I don't have with the speaking aspects. So more often than not, I will leave a voice message, and they're long, and I talk very quickly. So the person said, I was taking notes, trying to know how to respond to that. The person, the takeaway was, I just want you to know that I really love you and what you do on the show. And I think that there probably would have been a time in my life where I would have found that really weird, right? Like really weird. But I remember reading it and thinking, yeah, I love you too. Like there wasn't even a split second of weird. It was weird afterwards, because it occurred to me that it should have been weird and wasn't, if that makes any sense. But it's pretty wild to see what the internet is capable of, right? How people come together, and how it brings people together from all walks of lives, right? Dirty Mouse says, I know it was hard to find out my parents were actual humans, but after the shock wore off, I felt even closer than ever before. I love you, Tommy, and all of the Lifeboat. Dirty Mouse, we love you. We really do. It has become the love channel. It has become the connection channel. And it's funny because the trolls have started to actually like beat on this as the love channel. Oh baby, give us hell, man. Right? Give me crap as the love channel. give me crap for starting the connection channel. For real. For real. Bring that. Huh? Bring it. Are you kidding me, man? I'm sorry. Outside of the dude, right? The connection dude is about as cool as you could possibly get. You know what I mean? I mean, the dude really is the coolest guy ever. The dude abides, but yeah. The lifeboat is okay. It's okay. You don't own a cat, you become a cat slave. It's the absolute truth. It is the absolute truth. I've had a lot of people comment about the amount of tears that this channel brings out, not just in the hope, but in in the host rather, but in all of you. It's definitely a channel that probably sheds a little bit more eye fluid than the next, but I'm pretty proud of that. If you want to know the truth, I am pretty proud of that. The Midnight Show said, when I picked up my journal again, I could trace back to when my anxiety started. It was an eye opener. I also started writing again. Wow. Thanks for reminding us to keep journaling. Love how you're showing us your humanity. Thank you. Thank you so much. What a cool thing to say. And I'm so glad that you're writing again. Such an amazing thing. I've been reading back through what I've written because I'm trying to find kind of, where I started to get off of the rails a little bit. And I started to mention in my writings, I started to pick on myself and write things like, leave it to the guru, right? Like I was going to get something done, and I would write something like, I'm sure the guru will get it done by noon, or leave it to the savior. And every one of them was a tongue-in-cheek reference to the fact that everybody thinks I'm a lot better a person than I am, and that's something that it's the imposter syndrome, right? Well, imposter syndrome is tough under any circumstances, but if you're a former convict, right? Like I did a lot of really crappy things, and so now that I work for the other team, so to speak, sometimes you get that feeling like you feel like a fraud. You feel like, if you people really knew the real me, you wouldn't want to hang out. And I know now that is not the truth. I honestly know that is not the truth. But it's still hard. It is a backward compliment. Like my friend always says, the only thing worse than having trolls is not having trolls, right? Because not having trolls means that no one's watching you stuff, right? The funny thing, I mean, honestly, the thing that cracks me up is the people that have fun with the concept of that I've been using the whole time, and just decided to randomly pick a couple of days ago to mention a relapse. It's an interesting concept, but hey, there are people who are going to try to make $1 off of everything, right? That's the nature of the business. There's always going to be somebody who is going to try to be making there's a lot of really stuff in the news. Every time something happens in the news, anyone who comments on it, right, runs the risk of making a decent amount of money on it. Like, to be really honest, if I talk about nothing but Danny Masterson, I kill it, right? Huge money. And because of how early on I got there, I think in the Danny story, when I comment on Danny, a lot of people watch it, right? But I can't keep doing that and not look like I'm just trying to whore the subject matter out for the purpose of getting paid. There really is a mission of what this boat is trying to do, and what it's trying to do is to create connection. Now, I will there's a lot of different things that we can bring up that will allow us to talk about it, so that we can visit some subjects that are still going to pay the bills, so to speak, because it is part of the gig. But when I read things, and I read that people are picking up and writing again and starting to put pen to paper, you're going to realize the world that you live in. For real, you're going to realize the world that you live in. Ben says, Tommy, you started the boat. I can look up to you for that. It's not idolization. It's respect and thankfulness. Make no mistake. What you have done has helped so many change their lives. Ben, so beautifully put. So beautifully put. Really, it is. It's so beautifully put. And what happened is the people who have come here have gotten sober, right? I didn't get any of them sober. And if it sounds like why do you care, Tommy, if they say that you got them sober? The reason that I care is because other people arrive and then they believe I can do that, right? They believe I can make people sober. And I wish I could do that. I really do. I can do a lot of shows, and we can support people as much as we can possibly support them. And we will meet them. We will bring more to the party than they will. I promise you, we will bring more to the party than they will. Or we will fight harder for their sobriety than they do. But they're still going to have to fight for their sobriety, because we can't make anybody sober. And that's the part that I wrestle with. I think I wrestle with a lot of people who like to tell me how many lives I've saved. Yeah, let me give you Dirty Mouse. There is a journal being printed. Damn the printers, because we really have sent this entire. I swear to you, I'm telling you the truth. Calhoun wrote it, but I'm going to give you a prompt. Lisa Tribble says, we can be honest because you are honest with us. I will always love you and the crew, and will always support all of you. God bless you, Lisa Tribble. God bless you. I mean that. So, are you ready for a prompt? Because this is an excellent one. Are you ready for a prompt? This one is so important. Is it ever all right? Here's your question. Is it ever all right to lie? Huh? Is it ever all right to lie for the purpose of protecting someone else's feelings? You follow me? If I said, I don't want anybody on the lifeboat to think it's okay to get, to go out and use. As the host, as the person that people are looking up to, if I tell them the truth, I might hurt them. Is it okay for me to lie to protect those people? Is that ever okay? And if it is, explain to me why. Right? Explain to me why. How about a sober hour with you? We can't drink for an hour, 8 p.m. every night. This is and thank you again, Lisa. This is a very interesting concept. How about a sober hour with you? We can't drink. I would love for everyone to start that way. If you're someone who is still using, I would love that. I would love if everybody would say, you know what? I'm not going to use for this hour. I think that would be a great concept and absolutely worth talking about. I like it. I like it as a concept. And I'll talk to some people. I don't know that I've ever welcomed you to the boat. Welcome. It's good to have you. But that's a very cool concept. Wow. What a cool thing to say. Huh? I feel validated here. Tommy, thank you. Wow. I am so happy to hear you say that. I really am. I am so happy to hear you say that. Validation is a beautiful thing. I hope that everybody here feels like you're being seen. and that you're being validated, right? And that you're being accepted for who you are. And I'll tell you something. I will love you if you continue to use. I'm not going to hate you because you're a user. I'm not. I got news for you too. I'm not going to love you more because you're sober. I'm going to like being around you a hell of a lot more. I promise you that. I'm going to be way more proud of you. But I don't love people or like people contingent on whether or not they use drugs or don't use drugs. Conditional love sucks. Let me say that again. Conditional love sucks. So if it's going to work this way, I will love you, providing you don't ever do this again. Bye-bye. Even if I'm never going to use drugs again as long as I live. If the love is contingent on my sobriety, then I don't want to know that person. I'm sorry. Love should never be contingent. Sounds like a tall order, doesn't it? It does. It sounds like a tall order, but I want my love like this. You see this one? This is how I want my love. Unconditional. Unconditional, right? Like a dog loves you. Honesty is a big deal for you, Tampa. I knew there was a reason we loved each other, Tampa. I knew there was a reason that we loved each other. I'll tell you what. I was an awful liar. I was an awful liar. The most important part of me telling you about the relapse was not the relapse part. It was the not lying part. The relapse part was so uneventful. Honestly, in the scheme of things, it was so uneventful that there wasn't much to it. I got under control really fast. This has that effect. I mean, how the hell do you get out of control? You got to do a video every 2 or 3 of them a day. It gets kind of hard to be out of control, right? But not telling all of you, coming here every day and listening to you talk about you relapsing, knowing that I had done it and not shared that. If you're the person who wrote the comment, you think that that's a better call, I question your intelligence. I really do. I didn't leave a comment, by the way, on this person. I didn't bother answering him. I just pinned his comment. I usually do those with ones I really love. And then I'll just let you guys have fun with them. That may be crappy, but at least it's not me being mean. The road to sobriety is broken and rocky. We all stumble. Even the trolls, bless them too. Larry Allen, no question. No question. There is a gentleman who you do not see very often on the boat anymore. And it's because he's had to move and he's gone to other countries. And he has a very, very interesting story. He made some of his own videos, all of which he does wearing a mask. He is a unique individual. But he started out as a troll. He'll tell you he hated me, and he made it really, really known. And instead of firing back, I was pretty new to the game. And instead of firing back and saying really bad stuff about him, I reached out to him privately and just said, I don't know you. What can I have done to make you hate me this much? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And he explained what his problem was. And I kind of explained to him my take and why I thought I was right. And over the course of about 4 or 5 days, this gentleman became not a fan, but a friend who called me and said, would it be okay if I added TLB to the name of my avatar? And I thought, the difference between, trolls and, and fans are very often really, it could be one bad day, makes a fan a troll. And one great day can make a troll into a fan. It's a very odd thing. It's not your decision what is protection. Lies are not okay unless you say, yes, those jeans make your ass look good. That okay? That lie's okay. That one's okay. Lisa, I am so glad Lisa's here to clear this up. Seriously, what would we do without Lisa? I'm glad you're here to clean that up. I remember my mom said something to my dad along the lines of, does this dress make me look fat? And my dad was reading a paper at the time, and he said, does this newspaper make me look stupid? I thought it was one of the all-time great lines, right? One of the all-time great lines. Like, yeah, I'm not dumb enough to answer that question. I promise you that. Interesting, Penelope. Interesting, Penelope. Interesting. I think sometimes you have to lie by omission if someone is not ready to hear what you have to say sometimes. I struggle with this. And I think in a one-on-one situation, I guess that's something that you would have to really kind of evaluate. Because of who I was in the beginning, I can't do that anymore. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but I know me, and I know the slippery slope. And not coming on and doing what I did would have been omission. Wouldn't have been lying, right? Because no one was going to ask me straight out that day, hey, did you happen to do any drugs last night? Just would have been omission, right? It's a tough one. It really is. Tampa B man says, Artsy, please just don't say anything to the police, especially lying to the police. Best piece of advice in history: don't talk to the police. Don't talk to the police. If you've done nothing wrong, don't talk to the police. It does not matter. If you've done nothing wrong, don't talk to the police. Don't do it. Don't do it. There are innocent people in prison. Without exception, they talk to the police. And somehow things that they said got twisted and used, and they got a question for you. You have a question too. I would like to talk to an attorney. How do I make that happen? Oh, no, Donna, I'm sorry to hear that you have a migraine coming on. I am so sorry. Thoughts and prayers for Donna. Migraines are awful. Migraines are awful. Tommy Bird, finally got that taken care of. I respect that. I respect that. Hold on, where are we? It is so hard for me to catch up. You know how bad I am at this. Sorry, so bad at this. I'm about. There's Russ. Good to see you, Russ. Very worried about you, my man. Very worried about you. I was struggling. The message I sent back to Russ when Russ sent me the message was probably not something that could be shared on the Lifeboat. I would say that it is fair to say that I can't repeat it, but I am very happy that Russ is here and healthy. Tampa Bay, you and I would get along on this. You and I would get along on this. For me, the truth is so much better than dealing with all the ramifications, with all of them. I'm sorry, it's the truth. It's just easier. Let me tell you something. It was a very difficult thing to come on this channel and say I was wrong about this, this, and this. But I've been wrong about a lot of things since I started this channel, right? I did not believe in harm reduction. I was really, really, really against harm reduction. You understand? And I was wrong. I was wrong. And I'm happy that I've been able to come here and try to undo the stupidity that I did, right? Because it is just, yeah. The truth is always the best bet. Tampa B, you know how I feel about you. You really do. And I would love you if you weren't a California dime. If you weren't a smoke show, I would still love you. You are just such a sweet person. Renee, that's a great quote. Wow, that's a good quote. People looking for a guru give their power away when he shows up. We are our own guru. That's safe place. That's such a great line. People looking for a guru give their power away when he shows up or he or she shows up. I love that, man. I really do. I love that. Renee, that's heavy. UDT Ghost. I don't know if you were underwater demolition. If you were, thank you so much for your service. That's to all of our men and women in who served. We have young personnel on our street that have overdosed, and fentanyl test strips were in the house but never used. You know, the fact, I'm going to tell you something right now that you're really going to have a hard time believing. Today I read, right, that Oregon is putting a clean and reliable product on the street so that analog bootleg fentanyl isn't going to be on the street to kill people. And they're selling it at $1 a pill. The ad was talking about this. I've said it a million times. If you put a needle exchange program on the corner, nobody has ever said, I think I'm going to become a junkie. I can get free needles right there. I'm going to take up slamming dope because there's free needles there. But I'll tell you something right now. There are drug addicts who have never tried fentanyl who are going to go $1 a pill. I'll give it a try. There are people that will say at $1 a pill, I'll try this. You understand? This is a completely different concept than the one we were talking about.
Oh, she let me love her. I love you, squirrel.
Thank you very much. A beautiful thing to say. Truthfully, what a beautiful thing to say. Wow. Wow. That is really a beautiful thing to say. I think I would have a hard time reading it. That is such a beautiful thing to say. Thank you. Yeah, Russ, we're so happy that you're better, man. I mean, safe. I think it's probably going to be a while before he's better. Isn't that funny? Tommy, had you not shared, it would have led you down a very different road, which would have been entirely worse for the lifeboat. You're right. You're right. And when I talk to the people that my content creator friends, not my drug addict and people in recovery friends, but my content creator friends, I said, what do you figure? They said, you're going to lose 3%, 5%, something like that of your audience, right? It's not going to be the end of the world, but you're going to take a hit. I didn't. I did not take a hit. I picked up hundreds of subscribers. Which says an awful lot about the movement. I mean this. I've said this before. I'll say it again. This is the first time in my existence where people are actually giving people crap for partying. This is the first time in my life where people are shaming people. They call it buzz shaming. They're saying, don't post social media pictures of you doing bong hits. Grow up. You know what I mean? Seriously, I don't care if you're getting high. I don't. But I know a cat who's 50 who literally every single day, right, posts him on one of the other platforms doing bong hits, right? That's his entire show is him pulling 2 bongs a day. You know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's your life, right? It's your life. Had I lied, we would have gone down a very, very different road. I'm glad I didn't. Glad I didn't. You know what? It's the truth, but it's what we do, right? It's so much easier to BS than tell the truth. And we get into it, right? We get into it. My son said, go tell those boys I'm sick and I can't come out to play. I told them, they don't care. Just go tell them the truth, right? Tell them the truth. How do we help our kids? He gets sloppy drunk. It scares me. Okay. That is a question I'm not pulling off in 5 minutes. I have done many shows on this. If you look underneath a ounce of prevention, I think is what the playlists are called, ounce of prevention. This is a subject matter that I actually care very deeply about. If you send me an email, sober@myyahoo.com, SOBER, right, at myyahoo.com. In the heading, in the subject, right, put my kid. I promise you that will get answered very quickly. Those are the ones that I answer fast. It would require a couple of questions. It'd be 40 seconds back and forth. It's a very difficult thing to do, but it's probably the most important question in the entire world, especially right now. This is the scariest time in the world for kids. I am so happy that this is the truth. I am so happy. Now, I am not trying to bust anybody else's chops. Okay? I am not trying to bust anybody's chops. I'm not trying to make anybody unhappy. Okay? I'm not. Fentanyl test strips are effective. They're greatly effective. They will tell you if the heroin that you bought or the pill that you bought or the cocaine that you bought is cut with fentanyl. Sadly, fentanyl is going away, and the new drug is a different family altogether. And there are not test strips yet for the nitazines. And there have already been examples of people that took test strips, tested it, no fentanyl in it, snorted it, dead in a matter of minutes. I am really, really bad. I mean, really, really saddened by the fact that there's a drug out there that is worse than fentanyl, but it's a fact. It's out there. You understand? You have to educate your kids. You have to tell your kids that it's just not safe anymore. It isn't. It's just not safe anymore. Sorry. And, I wish that were not the case. Obviously, the vast majority of people who experiment with drugs never have a problem with them. The vast majority of people who experiment with drugs never have an issue. They experiment, they fart around. It's part of college, it's part of life, whatever. They do it every once in a while. It's a sex thing with them and their wives, whatever, right? There's a bunch of different people who use drugs in ways that are just not a big deal, right? That is actually the vast majority of drug users. Do you know that? That is the vast majority of drug users. I'm not one of them, right? But that is the vast majority of people. It is time for the squirrel, is it not? Hey, Russ, we're praying for you, my brother. That's the show. Watch longer, and Tommy will go shirtless again. See that? And you know what? That's somebody. Do you know how many times one of you has asked me how old that picture is? I get that picture is boy, has that gotten a lot of questions. That picture is about 30 years old. I think I was in high school when that was taken. That picture was taken at the halfway house after I got out of prison. So that picture was probably 3 years ago, 3 Octobers ago. I'm in different shape than that today. I probably weigh 10 pounds less than that today. I have started to work out differently for different reasons, for health. I'm not trying to. I am truthfully not trying to do anything to try to look better. All I am trying to do, for no other reason, is to just be healthy. On the bright side, it does throw A nice six-pack involved. Rain, I'm so sorry. My friend who died last week, witnesses claimed it was tested. It probably was. It probably was. And I'll tell you something else, Rain. What'll happen is and I'm sorry to talk about your friend. But the person who ODs will then have an autopsy done. And if they're not looking for isonitazine, phytonitazine, if they're not looking specifically for it, they will not find it. Now, if your friend's a partier, right, then there's fentanyl in his system anyway, or her system. The person's overdose dead, there's fentanyl in the system, it gets written down as fentanyl. You have to look. You have to specifically look. So how many people are dying, from fentanyl or from other drugs rather, and they're attributing it to fentanyl? Or how many people are dying and they're attributing it to whatever because they're not testing for phyto and isonitazines or NITs. NITs. ISO is the street name. ISO. Very, very big in Florida. Not exactly sure why, but the South. Big in Florida, big in Georgia, Alabama, that area. Let's see. The Kansas City people who passed were casual users. There's been quite a bit of that made about that. They very well were probably not addicted, and the proof is in the pudding. In all honesty, hardcore heroin addicts. I got news for you. Hardcore heroin addicts, hardcore drug addicts are not the people who are overdosing on these drugs. We know how to do them. You get a pill, you break it up, you do minuscule amounts of it until you know what you're doing. But that's a person who picks up a pill and thinks it's a pill and swallows it. That's not what a junkie does. A junkie breaks it up, puts it into smaller piles. They're going to bang it. They're going to sniff it. Question. Sorry, I had a quick look, but couldn't find. Tommy, do you have a video or plans for parents, grandparents could use with our teens or helps? I know not much on drugs and raising grandkids. It is in there under the playlist, An Ounce of Prevention. I promise you it's in there. There's about 15 videos, I think. And it's in there. If you look under playlists, look for the Ounce of Prevention. Like An Ounce of Prevention, it's better than a pound of cure. All right. Well, I'm slinging An Ounce of Prevention. And there's a whole series I've done on it. And if you can't find that, shoot me an email. We'll figure something out. Okay? I promise. We'll get it to you one way or another. But Gail Carney, I'm glad that you finally caught a live. We're glad that you're here. I am toward the end of it. Sadly, we are winding down, so to speak. But I really wanted to touch on this, and I promise you, people, I'll answer questions, but I'm getting back to business as usual. You hear me? I'm getting back to business as usual. I'm not defined by what I did 2 days ago. That's not going to define me. You hear me? It's not. Question. When do they release the numbers for the previous year's numbers on the deaths caused by fentanyl? It's an excellent question, Seventh. And you know the answer is when they're damn good and ready. They seem to play with it every year. It's supposed to come out in April. Does not always come out in April. But they fudge them, and they fudge them hard. We've got a couple of campaigns coming up that are going to be very easy. They're going to be just a matter of people basically signing on to so that we can start giving hell to an awful lot of politicians, right? That's really what the goal is going to be. We're going to raise hell with some politicians, I promise you. All right. So, all right, everybody, you know this dude. That is my son, Spanky.
Hey, sweet girl.
And this, right, y'all.
Say hello, squirrel.
is a cat in a basket. And a great cat in a basket. Okay, hold on. From now on, I will not be drinking during your live. Please don't go longer than an hour, please. I can't make any promises with that, Sunshine. If you're cutting down for drinking for an hour, I might just pull a 24-hour one just to keep you sober. We've done it before. There is a 24-hour one out there. You be careful. That'll burn you just on the outside of your fingers, Calhoun. All right, everyone. I'm Captain Tommy, and we'll see you later on. Right? Bye-bye. Ending stream would be good. Let's see if we can
You
end
gotta
it.
hit it a few times.
You know, if you hit the right